Hey guys, this is Jeff on the Entrefied podcast. If you're not familiar with Entrefied, what we do is we interview business owners, book authors, and the like, and we look for those things that add value to your life, personally, professionally, or both. So today we're having a personal podcast. What I want to talk to you about is don't waste your time on being offended. That's one of the things that I want to start off with today. Like I said, if you're new to Entrefied, you can go to entrefied.com. It's www.entrefied.com. Entrefied means entering into your success, and we look for those values that add, or these added values that you can add to your life personally and professionally. Also, go to facebook.com/Entrefied, entrefied.com, and you can get the YouTube video and also the podcast notes, which I highly recommend you do that. Has a link right there. Be sure to like our YouTube video if you would. But I want you to get the podcast notes, guys. It's free. Just go, like I said, to facebook.com/Entrefied. That's entrefied.com. But with that being said, I want to talk to you about something very important today. I'll try to keep these pretty short, or this podcast, pretty short today. But I want to talk about don't waste your time being offended at most stuff. You know, a lot of people spend a lot of time with that, and we waste that time because most things don't matter in 100 years anyway, right? I mean, why are we wasting our time on things that don't matter? But see, if it matters to you, guess what? It's wasted time. It's wasted productive time that you could have for something else. You know, if you're enjoying your life, that's great. But if you're hating every minute of it just because somebody done something to you, I mean, it's wasted time. So don't waste your time being offended at most things. I've said it before, but a lot of things don't matter. One thing that does matter, as I mentioned, is wasting your time on something that makes no sense, that you can't do anything about, like somebody says something mean to you. I mean, what are you going to do with that? Wasting your time being angry and or not productive. You know, I mean, you're getting to a state of your mindset's all messed up. Your anger, your fear, or whatever the negative emotion is. You're not thinking logically, and you're getting to a point where you're not happy. Why waste your time with that? If there's something to learn from it, hey, I get it. You know, if someone is just acting bad, I would recommend just either get away from it or just deal with it. You know, but most of the time, it's best just to get away from people that are acting badly because we don't know really why they do certain things sometimes. You know, here's a couple things that you can try. Here's a couple points. Think, why do I care? Try to find something you can learn from it, like not deal with that person in the future on that particular matter. You know, I want to share some things with you again. I won't be sharing that again with them. In other words, what I was going to say is that because when you get to a point where you share certain things and you keep seeing that it's kind of a hot button with certain people, you know, hey, avoid that. Don't talk about that. You know, hey, they're sensitive to that, or I can't share that. Sometimes it's just certain things they don't want to hear from you for whatever reason. And it's just one of those things where you realize, hey, I'm not going to do that no more. I realize that person, I can't share those things with that person. Try to find a positive, though, guys. How can I deal with this person more effectively in the future? You know, it's kind of like turn the negative into a positive, you know, because if you can do that, then you've learned something. You feel better about it. Somebody insults you, does something like that, you're thinking, hey, why do they say that? You know, but if you can look at it as like, okay, what's up with this person? Why are they feeling this way? You know, why are they saying these things? Is this a key that I don't need to share this stuff with them in the future? Or how can I deal with them more effectively in the future? Even better than that is, how can you deal with situations like this in the future? So it's not a complete loss. Kind of sounds, you know, weird in a way, you know, how you're going to deal with it in the future. But you'll find that there's people that, you know, they just don't interact well with, you know, certain things you tell them, or they don't want to hear certain things, or maybe they're just having a bad day. But the point is, if you can learn something from it, you can get something from it, you know, without it being just a total loss. The next thing I want to talk about with you today is being open to listen to people. You know, so many people they think that they're the only ones that's right. And, you know, really those type of people's cut off the root system. You can't really learn if you're just the foremost authority on everything, you don't really have anything left to learn, you know. You may be the big fish in a small pond, but loosen up a little bit, open up to people, just because they don't have the ideas that you do, or the opinions you do. Maybe you'll learn something from, their mindset. Maybe you'll learn something you didn't know if you just open up and listen to people. Next point is you cannot give away what you don't have. This is such an important point. When you understand this and you can start applying this to a small degree, you can get a lot of good results. Let me explain what I mean. So if you have if you hate someone, all right, it's hard to show that person love. I mean, that's pretty easy to think about for a moment. If you don't like somebody, it's hard to, do good to them. Or is it? When you deal from an emotional standpoint, yes, it is. It's hard. But if you look at it from a logical standpoint, you realize that sometimes by doing good things to others, you're blessing yourself. So that's hard to know. It really is. Because on the surface, it looks like, well, if I bless them, they're going to turn around and hurt me again. But here's the thing. If you become fearful, it's hard to be confident. When these negative things reside in you significantly, it becomes harder for you to demonstrate the opposite positive in your life. If you're abundantly full of fear, hate, envy, lust, I mean, guys, it's hard to show the opposite of that. And you think, well, why does that even matter? I don't understand. Someone might say, I'm not going to forgive them because they did something to me. They didn't ask for forgiveness. Why should I forgive them? Here's the thing. It will cause you not to be open. You may even get to a point where you're like, I don't trust people. All people are alike. I've come to the conclusion, I hope this don't sound too bad to you guys out there. Most people are alike. Most people are about the same. They get the wrong thing in their head or the wrong beliefs, and they do things that, sometimes are wrong. Sometimes they're not what I would do or what you might do. But the thing of it is, you can just hold that against them, or you can put them on the level that they need to be and still look at, okay, I understand, certain things I can't share with this person. I can't be involved in that, but I'm not going to just write them off. I'm not going to get to the point where I just hate them. I'm doing bad things to them. If you get to the point where you can bless people that hate you, you're not going to lose a lot of your blessings. When you get to the point where you're just hating everybody because everybody's mean to you, and it's like it affects your whole life. It's not just one person. You get kind of tainted to think that most people are like that. And the truth is, most people can do bad, and most people can do good. So how do you deal with that? You put them on the level that they need to be, guys. You don't just write them off. You just say, look, you know what? I understand that's where they're at. Maybe they're thinking about this thing wrong. I'm just going to, I'm going to love them anyway. I'm going to love them where they're at. And maybe they come around, maybe they don't. But until they prove that to me, this is where they're at. Doesn't mean I can't bless them in other areas, or I don't choose to forgive them. You know what I mean? Because sometimes the forgiveness you give is the forgiveness that you get. You get it for you. You get it for you, because when you lay that stuff down, you can move on. And one of the best blessings that you can have a lot of times is being able to bless somebody that, that hadn't forgiven you. You forgave them. It's one of the best blessings you can have, because you're doing the right thing. Guys, I'm getting off topic here. Here's the thing. There are times we don't supposed to share certain things. And it doesn't mean that we don't care about people. There are times that we need to walk away. Again, it doesn't mean we don't care about people. Here's the thing. Most people are the same. Like I said, people can get bad things in their head. I just look at it as they're probably not thinking right. They're probably operating under the wrong beliefs, as I mentioned earlier. With that said, in most situations, I've found it's better to forgive and still bless those same people. Because I'm telling you, when you hold it against them, you're missing out on the blessing. Be the example you should be for the people that probably was mistreated or has been hurt in the past. Be big enough, be the bigger person to show what you want to receive. Because in the end, to be honest with you, it's like this. It really don't matter most of the time whether they, what they say about you. You got to be strong enough to do what you need to do, to be the person that you need to be. Really don't matter what they say most of the time. You got to be that kind of person that can stand even when they don't want you to stand, even when they don't like you, you can still do good to them. I'm not saying you just turn right around, you just bless them every area that but I'm saying you just get to the point where you're not holding it against anybody. You just look at it as, they got that in their mind. They are where they are right now. I'm not holding it against them. I'm not judging them. I'm not their judge. And when you see some way to show them good, you don't hold it back because of something they've done. In a lot of times, in a lot of cases, because when you do that, like I said, it kind of taints you. Remember this, it's best sometime to accept apologies that you never got. Remember, in 100 years, it's probably not going to matter anyway, right? Also remember this, when you say, I'm holding this back because they did this, you often will be holding back on your potential to receive more in the future, and not necessarily from them. You think, well, is God going to hold that back from me? I can't say that. But what I am saying is, when you start restricting, expect that you're not going to get as much blessing. It's just like a matter of fact, I believe. In most cases, forgive and learn how to deal with the person or situation in the future, but don't lose your joy and ability to bless them where you should, because you will be losing your blessings too. And I said blessings because often, sometimes, a blessing for one person yields two blessings for you. You don't have to understand this to get it to work for you. You just have to do it. You just have to do the right thing. You can bless those that hate you and receive a double blessing. It would be wise to remember that, to demonstrate this. It's not just what you know what I mean? It's not, okay, I know I should forgive them, but I just can't do that. It's the emotional situation that you're dealing with. Can you be grown up enough to do what you need to do regardless of how you feel? Some people, they have a hard time doing that. So I'm just not going to do it. Okay. Well, you're affecting yourself whether you realize it or not in most cases. You're not hurting them in most cases. It's hurting you much more than it's hurting them. Get to the point where you can say, hey, you know what? I'm not condoning what they did, but I'm not the judge of it. I can't do that. I can't hold that weight. The Bible talks about that God is the judge. You know why I think that is in one case, or not in one case, but one reason I should say? It's because I don't think we're able to hold that. I don't think we're able to hold it because we're not perfect. Sometimes we want things that's not right. You can bless people that hate you. You have to use wisdom in this. You have to use wisdom in it. But if you're going to be the Christian that you need to be, sometimes you've got to be able to show things that you don't necessarily feel like doing to people because they've done wrong to you. Everybody thinks you got to feel like it sometimes. Or not everybody, excuse me, guys. Some people feel like you got to feel like it. Sometimes you do things because it's the right thing to do logically. Guys, I hope you've got something from this today. Remember, you can bless people that hate you. You don't have to feel like it. And remember this, don't waste your time being offended on most stuff. Remember the days that you get and the moments you get. What if you could live those, in a state of joy, in a state of happiness, because you refuse to focus on something that would steal your joy? We'll see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.